Well, good morning, humanity. It's May 3rd, 2021, and it's our favorite time of the week because it is Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, everybody, my name's Paul,
Oh, good morning. This is Bev.
and we are really lucky today. One of the first times we've really had a guest speaker who's outside the BioTouch loop. We
Right.
have Dr. Cilla Whatcott. Hello, Cilla.
Hi, Paul and Bev. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
Yes.
thanks for being with us.
So we want to introduce Scylla. She's the founder of a technique called homeoprophylaxis, and we can go into that in more detail at a different time. She's also the producer of a documentary called Real Immunity, which is also the name of her website, realimmunity.org. It's on the screen there. And she also has written numerous books, and we are so honored to have you with us today. And we'll just let Bev start right away with our big question.
Yeah. People usually lump biotouch into the energy uh, medicine modality paradigm. I mean, it's always like, isn't it energy moving? So our question is to you. So what do you think the word energy means in healing? And how do you think we can use it in our daily lives? Because this is really what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So,
So, energy is actually used in conventional medicine with MRIs, with
Interesting.
x rays, with other forms of diagnostic tests. So, it has been used, and homeopathy, which is what I practice, is definitely considered a form of energy medicine. And what I tell people, I like to give them two different definitions. One is simply about how we all sense energy. When you walk into a room, if there's classical music playing, it's going to give you a different feeling than if there's heavy metal playing, right? So all of
Rock
these
and
things
roll.
elicit, yeah, they elicit forms of energy. So all music elicits forms of energy, and then there's an actual scientific description for how energy medicine is applied with homeopathy, and it's basically about diluting and succussing these remedies. Dilution, we all know what that means. Succussion just means to strike it so that water bonds are broken up and the atoms flow to a higher orbital. And the higher they flow, the more it's energized. Past the fifth orbital, there's no physical matter left. It becomes purely a frequency.
Hmm.
So, this is kind of a technical quantum mechanics explanation for how homeopathy works as an energy medicine. And then I've given you a little clip that you might want to show that's
Yeah, let's
really
show that.
nice about like treating like. It's the science of like treating like
Yeah,
in
it just fits right along with our whole philosophy too. So we'll show this for 2 minutes, and then we'll come back. If you have questions for Scylla, jot them in the comment section, and we'll pass them on to her. But let's look at this little clip.
Homeopathy is based on a law, we call it the law of similars. And as I understand it, the law of similars is based on love. It's an expression of love. So instead of fighting something, pushing it, suppressing it, it's being accepted for what it is, it's being mirrored for what it is, and it's being embraced as it is. And it's actually we are saying with the remedy, this is exactly as it should be, and we just support this. And then the paradoxical response, what we can see, is that then the situation can change. As long as you're suppressing something, try it with your kid. As long as you're suppressing it, it will fight back. As soon as you kind of accept it for what it is, then change can happen. So it's an expression of love. I believe that's what it is. So it's true on many levels. Like if you have a fever, and because there is an infection going on, this fever is exactly what it should be. It's the organism's wisdom to deal with the situation. It knows how to handle. We don't have to tell it how to do that. All we can do is that if the organism isn't able to kind of overcome it, we give it this resonance, this simillimum, to kind of support it in what it's already doing. But that's not only true on the level of symptoms, it's also true on the level of diseases and the role they play in the evolution of mankind. Diseases like malaria, diseases like HIV/AIDS, they bring about change in humanity. And there's a reason why these diseases are there, whether intentional or not, but you can just see the consequences they have, not only in terms of bringing about suffering and illness, but also about bringing about change in humanity, in society, in the collective, and in the individual.
Okay, we had to
Wow.
replay that because the sound wasn't on. Thank you, everybody in the audience, for doing that. And then everything goes. Technology. Hey, he is awesome.
Oh my gosh, that was just amazing. I just got to say, letting something, isn't it interesting that when something goes out of whack, we want to immediately jump in and try to control it and change it. And what he's saying is, just understand that what is working out, this amazing body, it has the ability to work with it and bring it back. So I'm just loving what he was saying. That's amazing.
It's really the heart of homeopathic medicine. And
Yeah.
our goal as homeopaths is to understand what it's like to be that person and to experience those symptoms. So we may have 5 people with the same diagnosis per se. They're going to get 5 different remedies because their experience of that pathology is very unique to them. So as a homeopath, we're looking at what makes it worse, what makes it better. When did it start? What preceded the beginning of this pathology? What are your likes, your dislikes? Do you prefer different weather? Do you prefer different temperatures? I mean, everything about the individual is what we need to understand in order to match the proper remedy. We call it the simillimum, that can then engage the vital force to bring about healing.
So let me ask you this then. There's a lot of other touch healing techniques out there: Reiki, Joe Ray, healing touch, therapeutic touch, biotouch healing. How do those fit into people taking, and we talked about it earlier, responsibility for their own health care along with homeopathy remedies? What's the responsibility part?
Right. Well, we're each unique and we each have different needs. So one size doesn't fit all. And you're the only one who ultimately understands what you need. So it's essential to take that responsibility. And of course, you need input, you need education, you need information. You need to feel you can rely on people you trust to get that from. But then the decision's up to you. I have a great example of a patient who's 82 years old, and he has accessed the conventional medicine for some different surgeries, a stent or some eye surgery or what else? Skin, removing some cancerous spots from his skin. And I observe how he utilizes medical care in a responsible way. He makes a choice, he does his research and weighs out the options. Is this worth what it's going to cost me in money, in time, and recovery for the added health benefit that I'm going to get? As opposed to somebody who says, fix me, something hurts, tell me what to do. So that's not taking responsibility. Yet, even though my patient is using a lot of medical care, he's still taking responsibility. It doesn't mean ignoring it completely. It means doing it in a conscious way. So being aware of what's out there, what it means, what it costs on every level, and then choosing.
So things like homeopathy, these different energy modalities are all workable in the frame of the standard medical protocol too, then?
I would say so. And they're not, it's every modality isn't for every person. Some people may really resonate with acupuncture, others resonate well with homeopathy. It just depends. Homeopathy is a full system of medicine. So we treat acute things, we treat chronic things. It's a full system of medicine. It's not only an adjunct, but it can be used with other systems. So yeah, and people can choose. There's so many things out there that are viable. And there are things that technology has brought us, like pulsed electromagnetic frequency, PEMF. This is used a lot in cancer and tumors. And it's literally a pulse, a magnetic pulse that can enhance healing and reduce tumor growth. So, I mean, there's just so many things out there.
Yeah.
Well, it's exciting
True.
too. So,
Yeah.
so your movie, your documentary you wrote, Real Immunity. Tell us a little bit about why you did that and where we can get it, even if we want to watch it.
Sure. Yeah, I noticed, Paul, that people coming into my practice, these young moms had become very anxious and frightened about illness, common childhood illness. I mean, when you and I were kids, we probably had chickenpox, measles, mumps.
Right.
It was just a rite of passage. They're
Yeah.
benign childhood illnesses. You're home for a few days. You get to drink ginger ale, watch TV, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And a little chicken noodle soup, and you're back to school. So because of media, which has instilled a lot of fear in people, these young moms were really anxious, and they'd be running to the ER with their children if they had a 100-degree fever. And I realized that they needed the education. So at the time, I was teaching at a community college. I'd written a book, but I still felt like there wasn't enough exposure, and I couldn't teach enough people. So I decided that film was a great method because people love film, and many people are visual learners, so they're going to learn in that way. Decided to do a film which turned into 3 films, 3 feature-length films. I just kept gathering more and more information. I interviewed pediatricians, immunologists, parents, energy healers, started compiling, and I realized I had 3 films. The first one is called Quest for Real Immunity. The second one is Passage to Real Immunity, and I look at something called homeoprophylaxis, which is a method to protect before encountering disease. And the third one, Choosing Real Immunity, was after I received a cancer diagnosis and then went to Mexico to treat. Did not use chemo or radiation, but all natural methods, some energy methods, some medical interventions, but all natural. And then that final film took a little bit of a turn because I covered some things like consciousness and different things. So those are the 3 films. They're all available on realimmunity.org. You can stream them. I think it's like for 3 days, you rent them for 3 days, or you can purchase the hard DVDs through that website.
Exciting. We had a question here. We have someone wants to know, how young of a patient can use homeopathic remedies? Babies?
Infants.
Infants.
Infants, pregnant women. It's completely safe because it's energetic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing material in it, so it's completely safe for all ages. There's never been a death. There's never been an injury.
This is exciting. So, this show is based on the idea of giving people the tools. Of course, we push BioTouch healing, but it's exciting to have someone like you with your expertise on here sharing with people there are other options out there. And I think especially during these times, it's so important because the amount of fear and anxiety and bickering that's going on.
Right. Well, what I always tell people is that militaristic paradigm of fighting against something is not effective.
Right.
We need to just create something new. We need to understand and create something new, but we're learning with the whole body of information coming out about the gut biome that bacteria, parasites, viruses, we need them to survive. They are symbiotic with us as human beings. And having that militaristic attitude of fighting them is not going to serve us, and eventually is going to destroy us and our planet. So we really need to start understanding the role that they play and working with them in concert with them. And that's what homeopathy does, and especially homeoprophylaxis.
So go ahead, Deb.
I was just going to say, I really love the fact that homeopathic is so non-invasive, and it reminds me a lot of BioTouch, because it's allowing the body to step in and do what it knows how to do in a very loving, supportive way, without, as you say, fighting against it. So I'm really excited about, about this new way of looking at medicine. And
Right.
it's great. It's
I
amazing.
love that you use the word allowing, because that's exactly what it is. And I really feel that we're moving towards that more and more. People are tired of just trying to cover up or suppress symptoms, and they see that it doesn't work for chronic disease.
Right.
And people will make the change. It's not going to happen from the top down. It's going to happen from a grassroots effort. And people are making the change. They're voting with their feet. They're seeing more energy practitioners and natural types of practitioners. So I believe the change is happening, and we're seeing it. So that's good.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's great. Oh.
And also, the whole allowing piece, when something's natural, it happens much more slowly. We have become accustomed to taking a pill and 20 minutes later having the cessation of a headache or whatever it is. That's not how the body works. The body takes its time. So this is one of the biggest teaching things I do with homeopathic clients, because they have to understand that give your body time. It will decide what it needs to do first, second, and third. Maybe what you came in for isn't the priority. Maybe there's something else that needs to make a shift. Your body knows that. And if you allow it and have patience with a little bit of time, you'll see changes. And people are in a hurry. People want to see instant results. And they're so accustomed to that medication paradigm of you take a pill and change something, which is completely erroneous, really.
Yeah, I love that. I agree. Definitely.
Wow, this has been awesome. We had some good questions. A lot of people have been watching. I hope we're all taking away that message. It's in all of our hands. It's in humanity's hands, and professionals like Cilla and neophytes like Bev and myself. We don't have the PhD, but something? You all have a PhD. You all have the ability to help yourself, help your family. There's some really good resources out there. BioTouch Healing, go to realimmunity.org, contact Cilla, and if somebody in your community, I'm sure she can find someone for you who does homeopathy. If you want to learn BioTouch or any of these other energy modalities that are out there, there are things you can do at home to enhance your healing process. Cilla, anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Anybody who goes to my site, sign up for the newsletter. There's tons of free gifts, information. I think there's a segment of the first film that comes out free. You just have to sign up for the newsletter and pick and choose what you want. There's white papers, there's fact sheets, a cartoon, I think, and the film. So, whatever you're interested in, you'll be able to have some free items to take a look and learn.
Wonderful.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Cilla, we so appreciate you taking the time to share your information, your knowledge, and inspiration.
Thank you, Paul.
Definitely.
Thanks, Bev. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So again, we'll see you all next week, and there'll be a replay of this for anybody who wants it. And take care, everybody. Thanks, Cilla.
Have a wonderful week. Thanks.
I can feel the pain in sunshine or rain, so it's not caused by the weather, but it doesn't hurt that much after I feel your loving touch and we spend some time together. Take my pain away, each and every day. You're an angel from heaven on high. Your butterfly touch helps me heal so much, and I get better as time goes by. You take my pain away.